Hello and welcome to today's edition of Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Veneri. In this program, we take the questions that you send to us. Father Gruner answers them. We talk about them. So please continue to send us these questions at questions@thefatimacenter.com. We have someone who wrote to us who says, I've been attending the Interfaith Christmas and Lenten Chorales at my church for a few years. Is that appropriate prayer time? The readings and music is beautiful, but to be praying in my church with Lutherans, Methodists, and Episcopalians, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable, and have I sinned by doing so? So what should we tell this dear person here?
Well, it's obviously, if they're having it in their church, I'm assuming the church he's talking about is a Catholic church, and therefore, as that's happening, I'm assuming that's with the permission of their local pastor. And it's, how do we say this without offending somebody?
I don't think we can. Well, I mean, the thing is it's if it is a Catholic ceremony that non-Catholics are just simply coming to, that could be going on in parishes all the time.
Sure,
but if it's billed as an interfaith
yes.
Event where the other
two things. First of all, the other people are invited in as representatives of the Lutheran Church or the Methodist Church or the Episcopalian Church or whatever other churches, so-called churches, are talking about, then we're having prayer in common. That is, it's one thing for a non-Catholic to come to a Catholic church and to stand when we stand and kneel when we kneel and go along with prayers. I'm sure that happens, and it's been happening for centuries, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's perhaps how a number of people became converts. That one day they saw what it was that attracted them to church, and they decided to become Catholics. And there's nothing wrong with that, as you point out. But if it's held as let's have that all the churches are equal. We have the Catholics here, or whether it's intermingled, doesn't matter. We have the Catholics here, we have the Protestants, we have the Episcopalians here, we have the Methodists here, and so forth, and we're all equal. That is witnessing to a lie. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I mean, and that lie is not going to save souls, because then we're trying to say that Christ founded not one church but many churches. He didn't find many churches; he founded one. And the church is one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. So they've stolen the Catholic baptism, and if it functions for them, it's because it's Catholic. But one faith is not there. It's not the same church. And one Lord, they're not acknowledging the authority that Christ has entrusted to his apostles, by refusing to give that obedience that belongs to the priests and the bishops and the popes of the Catholic Church.
Well, also one of the red flags would be just the use of the word interfaith.
Yes.
Would show that this is more of it would appear, now we're not there, we haven't seen it, but based on what's being described, it seems like it is one of those events where the various religions are there represented formally as their religions.
Yes.
And as such, just read what the Council of Trent says about Protestantism, that if anyone who doesn't believe that our Lord is present in the Blessed Sacrament, anathema sit.
Meaning, let him go to hell, not because you want to go to hell, but because you can't go to heaven if you believe heresy.
Yeah. So we could go through, canon after canon after canon of the Council of Trent that shows that no matter what the subjective dispositions or goodwill of the various Protestants, the religion that they're giving witness to is in direct contradiction to the defined doctrine of the Catholic Church and what the Church has always taught.
And to what Jesus Christ
and
taught.
to what Christ himself taught.
Yes.
So to give members of those group equal representation, as you say, is ultimately to witness to a lie, and that's why, of course, prior to the Second Vatican Council, this type of thing was just unheard of.
Well, unheard of, and certainly not permitted, because in the first commandment talks about we should not participate in false worship. So if we are, and again, I don't know, but I mean, there are churches that have Protestant ministers speaking, either preaching in a Catholic pulpit or doing something. You've even seen popes do this, unfortunately, where popes take blessings from an Anglican archbishop or whatever he might have been, but it's certainly giving a scandal to the faithful, because you're not going to get a blessing I mean, you can go through the motions of receiving a blessing, but you're not going to get a blessing. A Catholic's not going to get a blessing by receiving a blessing from a Protestant minister. And to witness to that is a scandal. Yeah.
And even if somebody wants to say, well, it's only music. Well, music is used in worship. Yeah. And you can look up the old, in the old moral theology manuals, that a Catholic musician, whether he be an organist or a singer or something, is not permitted to play at a non-Catholic ceremony, because it is a participation in this Protestant worship. And I personally know musicians who, once they learned that, they had a lucrative weekend. They were playing for the Baptists and the minister and all these worship services. And once they learned that, from that moment, they never did again, and they suffered financially because of it. But it's something that's not taught today because of the whole ecumenical orientation.
Well, I think that people have to understand the pearl of great price that they have is the Catholic faith. Now, if they live the Catholic faith, it becomes polished and much more valuable. But you can't get to heaven with the Catholic faith if you've been baptized in the Catholic faith, you've learned the Catholic faith, putting yourself there, apart from the scandal you give to others and yourself. And even to the Protestants who are there, they say, well, it must be okay because they don't. So you're not, even those who are inclined to convert to the true faith, to the Catholic faith, are less inclined because they say, well, Catholic seems okay. John Smith or Joan Williams or whatever came to my worship service, and so they wouldn't be there if it wasn't bad for them. So it must be okay. So, but apart from that thing is, they're also putting their faith in danger. Mm-hmm. So this person, something is struck her. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. She should feel uncomfortable, but it would be nice to know what that was. Not to, but what is it that, because some of the hymns may be even against Catholic doctrine. I mean,
but you don't know it.
I don't know it. See, and some, again, I can't speak for this particular case because we don't have the details, but some of these events will have things that are against the Catholic faith in their hymns and so forth. Mm-hmm. Even though the music may be great, great as far as the music appreciation.
Sure.
But as far as the words are going to be something that they start thinking like that, and then they start losing their faith.
So I think we've pretty much answered this. The person who wrote this, feel free to contact us again if you want a little more details or clarification or anything. But the main thing is usually interfaith that's the sign that you are having Catholics and non-Catholic religions on the same level, as the popes actually forbade putting what they said, the religion invented by God, on the same level with the religions invented by men, in order to include them, they said, in the same skepticism. Yeah. And this is the danger of this. So,
one other thing I'd like to say is that this is another reason why the faithful should be asking insistently for the full third secret. The full third secret calls the Second Vatican Council evil. It's only from the Second Vatican Council that this kind of thing would be going on in the Church. If people knew the Blessed Virgin Mary warned against the Second Vatican Council, and this is one of this false ecumenism is one of the errors, not the only one, but one of the errors. I mean, no matter if you want to say it's in the documents or in the practice of it, essentially it came from the council or the post-council. To me, it's all the same at this point, and this would not ever happen if the council had not taken place and we kept on the same course we were before. I mean, we've had, the churches used to be full, now they're empty, now they're selling off their churches. What happened? It's all from the time of the council. And this is one reason why they're empty, and this is one reason why people are losing the faith, and this is one people, and people had the secret, which Our Lady came to give them. And Pope
in 1960. To be released in 1960.
And why Our Lady came, as Pope John Paul said, can the mother, who with all the force of the love that she fosters in the Holy Spirit and desires her children's salvation, can she remain silent when she sees the very basis, the very foundation of her children's salvation in her mind? She can't remain silent. Well, so what did she say? She said in secret, don't take the changes in the Mass and don't accept Vatican Council II. She didn't say Vatican Council II, she said an evil council will come. That's the only one we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's another reason for insisting upon the third secret to be released in full. So practicing the full Fatima message and learning the faith as it was always taught in practice, this is really a key to a happy life. So that's it for now, and we will see you on the next episode.